It seems no reenactment event is complete without a falconry display. As well as having a rich history coinciding with the periods that we portray, birds are just a delight to watch in action. Even at rest, these animals are magnificent. Here to talk more on these gorgeous critters is Redtails to Wagtails. Fair warning, there are cute animals ahead.
Hello, so we are making this video, our first video by the way, so you have to bear with us, for Mr. Goat Worn Armband creator and all you guys that are attending the virtual Battle of Hastings. So we are Redtails to Wagtails. We do animal care and transportation services. We also do a lot of conservation work, and we are a little animal shelter as well. And this is my husband Andy and our little working boy Ragnarok, who's a little mimpin. Obviously this is Andy's business, I'm his wife, and we're going to show you some of our birds today. Hi, I'm Nick, Andy's wife, and these are our birds. So we've got a couple of them out for you today. This is Freya. She's our American red-tailed hawk. She's very, very similar to our buzzards in this country. And as you can see, if I turn her around here, she's got this beautiful red tail, which is obviously where she gets her name from. We've named her Freya after Norse goddess, obviously. I'm sure you recognise the name. Absolutely beautiful bird, very, very intelligent. Soft as they come, believe it or not. And she hunts, like I said, just like our buzzards, so she would fly up high and soar around for a while, or sit on a post for a long time and then go down and catch her prey when she's ready to eat. But obviously she's quite used to us feeding her at the moment. We're going through a stage at the moment where they are at the end of their molt. When they're molting, we have to feed them up, which is where the term fed up comes from, which actually means you literally feed them all the foods they need until they are full and no longer want to eat anymore. They have all sorts of things from mice, chicks, quail, rabbit, now and again a little bit of deer. All of their food, their vitamins, minerals, all that comes from the variety of diet, so it's really important that they maintain a nice healthy diet. As you can see, she's quite fluffy here on the inside. She's waiting for some breakfast. And on the outside here, she's got very waterproof feathers. So when it rains, droplets will hit her back and just roll off. Quite often she will spread her wings to collect the rain for good preen, and also to catch the sun rays, a bit like a satellite. So very smart. Find that the biggest problem we have with Freya is, before we know it, she's teaching us. Okay, that's Freya. So this is Tura. She's a Perilana crossbreed. We've recently been given her. She's quite flighty, obviously, because she's a falcon. Needs a lot of work, and obviously she's new to us, so everything's still a little bit strange. As you can see, she's got this beautiful coloration because of her cross. She's got beautiful yellow feet, nice long toes for catching, and she will be doing fast speeds, unlike Freya, who would be soaring. She's falcon, so she'll be doing fast speeds for short amount of time. So for feeding, we use a lure and things like that, which I'll show you in a minute. So we can have quite a bit of fun with this one. It's good fun for her flying around and whatnot. She's still a bit feisty, like I said, but then that quite often is the way with falcons. She knows I've got her hood next to her, but I'm not going to actually put it on her at the moment. But this is a falcon hood, which they need specialised perches, specialised hoods, which just go on them to keep them nice and calm during times when they're resting. But apart from that, she's settling in really well. She's a lovely bird. She needed a home, so we gave her one. And I do believe Tura, we named her from, I'm sure many of you would have seen, The Last Kingdom on Netflix or wherever it is. And Tura was the small girl that they thought had died near the beginning, and actually she comes back several series later. Sorry, if someone's watching didn't know. We are actually aware that she did get captured, but and she comes back later on, and she's the one with the beautiful red hair. And so because the bird has this beautiful coloration to her. We named her Tura. Okay, so these are some of the items we've been talking about. So obviously we've got gloves, bigger gloves for the bigger birds, smaller gloves for smaller birds. Tura likes to run up my arm, so I tend to use that. That's Freya, you can hear. Thank you, Freya. With Freya we use sort of dummy bunnies, things like that, which you put the food on for training purposes and then run around with it or hide it, all different things like that. Tura, we use lures, some leather, some are suede, some have feathers on. Again, you put the food in, you spin it around a lot, not unlike poi, but obviously not fire poi. And you have your chick or whatever food's on there, and you. Okay, so sorry about that. That was Freya just asking for her breakfast. We were taking a little bit too long on that, so she's now got it. Right, so did lures. We do a lot of leather work, obviously. We make our own. You've got the hoods. You have anklets. These are old ones. Anklets and jesses. And these are flying straps. So they've got a very thin strap that you can hold on to and release, but they don't get caught on anything else. And then you put these ones in for connecting them up and when they're on the perches and things like that. This is Freya one, the redtail one, and this is a barn owl one, so you can see the size difference in that. Like I said, we make all our own. We use a Vaseline aloe blend to turn it from this and this to this to keep it nice and fit and healthy. I'm sure a lot of you guys do the same with your leather armour and things like that. So birds of prey, they cough out a pellet. Basically this is a pellet when one of them's at a chick, which Freya just gave us, and this is one, you can see the bone and stuff in there, that's mouse, because it's dark and we know what she's eaten lately. So basically they eat the foods, then they digest everything they need. They need fur, feathers, bone of different types, whether it's young bone or whether it's older like quail bone. They literally take all the goodness out of it, and anything they don't want they cough back up in these pellet forms, which find them in the wild. You can find some really interesting stuff because in the rain they just break down and you get all little carcasses of little animals. So, and then here's some feathers. So these are Freya feathers. So we've literally got, sorry it's quite windy today. This is one of Freya's wing feathers. As you, I don't know if you can hear and see, it's actually really quite waterproof. All the bit strands all lock in together, and that's what gives her that really tight waterproof, and it actually feels quite canvassy. This is one of her red tail feathers. So what happens is the red tail feathers overlap each other, cover the white, and that's why she has that brilliant red tail. And this, as I was showing earlier, this is one of her chest feathers, so you can see the difference in the downy under hair, which is what keeps her nice and warm compared to the waterproof. This is a tail feather from a what's mixed bird? I always forget this. A Harris hawk. Sorry, this is a tail feather from a Harris hawk. They've got this beautiful black tail and then this lovely white band on the end of their feathers. Again, very waterproof. Brilliant birds. This is a Tura feather, so you can just see the size and coloration difference. Because she's lost it, it's fallen out. She's lost the tip out of it, but again, very, very waterproof. Compared to a barn owl feather. Now, I don't know if you can see the difference. Let's get rid of them. So this is a Freya wing feather. This is a This is a falcon wing feather. This is a barn owl wing feather. Now, barn owls truly are silent in flight, and that comes from, you can see they have a very feathered edge compared to the tight edge of a falcon feather. And what happens is that breaks up the air as it flies, and that's what gives them their silent flight. But unfortunately, it also makes them not very waterproof. But we'll move on to a barn owl in a minute and you can have a look. But there's also a comparison in size for Freya wing feather, a barn owl wing feather, and the barn owl has a metre wingspan, and these feathers here are from a little owl, and they are literally called a European little owl, and that you can tell the difference. That's a wing feather, that's a wing feather. So they are a bit in between. They're still not very waterproof, but they are far more waterproof than a barn owl. And they stand about this big, and they are crazy. Okay, so this is Gwed. We actually have 5 barn owls at the moment, because we've got a tendency to rescue a few, rehome a few, things like that. Barn owls in the wild are lucky to live to 2 years old. In captivity they can live to 25-30 years. The sole reason for this is the fact that we are just absolutely decimating their habitat, and also with global warming the weather's changing and they just cannot survive it. So this beautiful girl is my Gwed, okay, and if anyone actually knows us they would have seen her online a few times, and she's coming up to 6 years old now. And as you can see, she's got this beautiful white front to her, these lovely little white dark spots. That shows that she's a girl. Boy barn owls all have just plain white fronts. She does like the camera, she does like to show off to the camera, and she does like a cuddle. Sorry, just get more comfy. Okay, as you can see, she's got this beautiful round dish shaped head. She's got an ear roughly around here and up higher on the other side. And basically noise hits the front of her face, hits her ears, and she can hear absolutely amazingly well, and the face actually works like a satellite and picks up all the sound, which is why they're designed that way. A lot of people worry about the fact, because she's got the dark eyes, because she's a night bird, they worry that being out during the day hurts her eyes. It doesn't at all. A lot of barn owls, especially in winter months, will be seen out during the day because they need to be hunting for food. They need quite a bit of food. And owls that have dark eyes hunt at night. Hi, baby. And owls that have the bright yellow or orange eyes hunt dawn and twilight. Again, they're all meat eaters, obviously. They catch their prey. That you can see, she's got a straight line along here, 3 toes, 2 to the front, 1 to the side, and then 1 very much to the back. So there's 3 at the front, 1 at the back. And then what happens is that 2 feet come together on the prey, lock in, and they literally have a locking mechanism so that once they've locked in, they don't actually have to use any power of their own to hold the prey. They're very quick. They dispatch their prey very instantly anyway. They hunt things like, in the wild it'd be mice, voles, occasional frogs, things like that. That's right. And so this is Gwed, my barn owl. Now something that's really, really important for people to know about birds of prey, and especially owls in particular, is they have a tendency to imprint. And one of the most devastating things for owls is to be taken to a home and then kept for say a year, and then the person, don't want them anymore, can't do it. They're not a pet. It's hard work, it's every day, and the problem is the owl has then imprinted with a person, and in this case it's Gwed with me, and it is like severing part of their existence, and a lot of owls will not survive if taken away from that imprinted person. Now it works a little strange. We don't know whether Gwed thinks she's a small human being or whether I'm a little owl. A big owl even. Sorry, she's going to try and sit on my hat because every time I go out she sits on my hat. Yeah, I know that. You can hear a little calling to me, and she's going to now be unsociable and face the wrong way. But you know, one of the biggest things we're finding is that people are having owls. They think it's fun, they think it's easy, they've seen it on programs on the telly, films, things like that. And it's not. It's if you're going to have a bird of prey, it's for life, for the length of that bird's life, and they're not going to live 1-2 years. They're going to live 25-30 years. But at the same time, having Gwed, it's been so rewarding. You know, she's got me out and about doing things that I wouldn't have done before, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Whenever we've been flying, she sits on my hat, which I think is because I'm short, so she can be a bit taller. But also when I'm wearing a hoodie, she'll sit in my hood. If it's raining, she'll sit inside my hood next to my face. And I've never known love like it. You know, we have all sorts of animals we rescue. We've had dogs for years, but this is extraordinary. Now Gwed, I will explain her name, is actually, her full name is Blodauwed. I don't know if, I'm sure some of you would have heard of a Welsh goddess who is made from flowers, and her name, made up of Blodaw and Gwed, means flower face. Beautiful story, look it up. And if you don't know it, and so we named her Blodauwed, which got shortened to Gwed because her face is so prominent. So yes, actually we just call her face, but you know, she's actually one of a kind. We've got 5 barn owls at the moment, and each one has a very unique personality. We have one called Guion, and he has been passed from pillar to post since he was 8 years old, and he does not know how to trust humans. We've had him about 1.5 years now, and he's finally coming to the glove. He's finally looking forward to seeing us and stuff like that. But you know, it's been absolutely devastating. He won't survive in the wild. There's strict rules on barn owls anyway, because of proving they're not from captivity. But also, if you look on our Facebook page, if you haven't seen it already, we've also had our mating pair this year had owlets, and so these fluffy little bundles of joy, which were absolutely ugly when they hatched, because owls are very ugly when they hatch. They look like Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. But yeah, absolutely within 3 months looked like adult owls. So, and they've gone for forever homes, which are all places where do a lot of conservation work, a lot of teaching, which is what we like to do. We quite often seen up at McDonald's, having McDonald's breakfast, teaching people a lot about conservation. And you know, it's just lots of little things that we could do differently that wouldn't affect our life at all, but would actually keep these guys alive. Beautiful birds, absolutely fantastic. She has a metre wingspan, and absolutely is silent flyer. She's because it's early in the morning, she's quite inquisitive and it's like, oh, it's getting on for bedtime now. So she's actually looking for bed, but it's within the next week or so we'll be out flying. You can see her feathers are still coming away a little bit, but they're almost done now. So it's she's got that thicker coat now, so we'll be able to take them out for a nice fly. Thanks, Gwed. Okay, so here we have Mr. Crowley. He is a common crow, obviously from the corvid family: crows, rooks, ravens, and I do believe jays are corvids as well. These are really, really important birds. Without corvids, we wouldn't exist. Okay, got someone flying over at the moment calling. Mr. Crowley has always been a captive crow. He's only actually a few months old. He can't be released into the wild because he wouldn't survive. And he's actually already starting to pick up human words. He's almost saying hello, and he chunders away, and he will actually soon actually start saying hello and things. Everyday phrases he hears. Very, very intelligent birds. Obviously, you guys reenacting battles, Battle of Hastings, for example. Corvids very much would have been seen around the battlefield, and very much associated with a lot of deities. Odin had ravens. The Morrigan are supposed to appear in the form of crows, ravens, rooks, and Valkyries, or all these different things. The mythology comes from. This is where the mythology of the rooks, ravens, crows, the corvids come from. Like I said, highly, highly intelligent birds, and we would not exist without them. They get rid of all disease, pestilence, all these things. And the same with vultures in other parts of the world, which are in major decline. Without them, we will not survive. It's not unlike the bee. If the bee goes out, we will not survive. These are key animals. These are really important, and so we try and do loads of conservation work with Mr. Crowley just to let people know how important these are. They're not these dull symbols of death. They're actually really highly intelligent birds, amazing to work with, and absolutely beautiful. And you can always tell when a raven's about. It sounds like a pig with a sore throat when it flies over. Love ravens, and if you want to know how intelligent they are, you can go on YouTube a lot and see a lot of the little tricks and things people got them doing, because they're so clever. And they are known not only to be a tool user, so like apes and that will pick up a stone and use it as a tool, which is high intelligence. Rooks, ravens, crows, they were actually tested, and there were 2 in a cage, and one had a straight piece of wire, and there was a piece of wire with a hook on the bottom of it, and the only way to get the food was to hook up the little bucket. So the female picked up the wire with a hook on it, and started to lift the bucket. The male saw what she was doing, took the wire with the hook on, and left the female with only the wire. So she then actually bent a hook into the end of the wire and did it herself. So not only are they tool users, they're actually tool makers, which makes them very highly intelligent species. Corvids will be one of the most intelligent birds in the bird kingdom. Actually, they're really high up with like dolphins, things like that. Very high intelligence, and so much fun, so much love, and crazy as they come, and will eat pretty much anything. So we're going to give this a try. These are our little owls. They are skitsy as they come at the moment, because they are a breeding pair. Through the round window we've got the female and the male. They're actually about that big, but it's hard to tell. They're in a big cage at the minute, and they actually come out and fly around the room all night long, so they get loads of exercise. They're really funny, really cute, but again, they have they're owls, they're birds of prey. They have claws, they have beaks, they're sharp. And like I said, at the moment they're quite skitty, because obviously they're nesting, they're getting prepared to look after babies, so they don't want anyone around them. See, the female's gone and hid. The male's a lot more sociable. He brings all her bits of food. These guys, they actually eat, they will eat chick, they will eat mice that's cut up, but they'll also eat a lot of bugs, mealworms, morio worms, locusts, crickets, anything like that. So fun little creatures, but obviously we can't get them out at the moment. We just need to leave them to have their peace at the moment. And so these two are called Beowulf and Grendel. The Beowulf just answers to his little name then. So, but very funny. But again, a lot of work every day. And being smaller, you have to be much more careful with their diet, because if they drop their weight too low, they wouldn't survive. So it's quite critical, weighing them constantly and getting their diet right. But no, really fun. Lovely little creatures, unique to their own. And they are called European little owls. Whenever I say, oh, they're little owls, and people, oh yeah, what type of owl? And I'm like, no, little owls. So they are actually called little owls. You can see. Hiya. Hi. Hi. Hi, Beowulf. Okay, so I'm sneaking this one in because my husband said not to video this one, but this is Cupcake, our budgie. He's a little darling. He does come on the hand when he's normally, but obviously because I'm trying to video him, he's not going to. And don't you just love that? The mythology of the name, Cupcake, my tummy. Together we are Redtails to Wagtails, Animal Care and Transportation Services. And I hope you enjoyed our video attempt today. Have fun. Enjoy your virtual reenactment.